Hey, Father Mitch here. How would you like to learn 3 really bizarre self-defense training techniques that really work? When was the last time you crawled an appreciable distance? You'd be shocked how difficult it is to crawl. You should practice it. By all means, make crawling a part of your regular fitness practice. I try to crawl about 50 to 100 yards, at least a couple times a month. It's extremely practical. It's great for your overall fitness. And if you ever have to do it in order to escape an attacker, to get out of a crowded theater or a smoke-filled office building, you're going to need to be able to crawl an appreciable distance. Harder than you think. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, you better browse to heritageartsinc.com and check out our free programs. Did you know that we're a 501c3 federally recognized educational charity? Chew gum. Yep, chewing gum. It turns out that in the old days, food was way harder to chew, okay? So meat was leaner. People relied upon crunchier, harder, less refined foods. And they ate more. If you look at the old records, people during Revolutionary War times, right on up in the 1800s, ate 4,000 to 6,000 calories a day. The meat share for each man in the Lewis and Clark expedition was over 3 pounds a day. Can you imagine? 3 pounds of game meat a day. They must have chewed 16 hours a day. And what that does is give you very strong jaws. A lot of famous boxers chew gum. So chewing gum will make your jaws stronger, make it harder to get knocked out, and harder to get a broken jaw if you get in a real fight. Now, one thing to remember is that studies are showing now that xylitol and artificial sweeteners have a higher impact on your blood sugar than regular sugar does. I don't know if that's reliable yet, but I'm trying to transition out of sugar-free gum to regular gum because, frankly, I chew it until there's no sugar left in it, and I'm a good brusher and flosser, and I've never had a cavity, so I don't think I have much to worry about. But your mileage may vary. You decide what you want to do. A regular stick of gum only has a few calories, so what's the big deal? Anyway, chew some gum. Make your jaw stronger. What if you had a squadron of aerial operatives circling you at all times, ready to warn you of an impending attack? What if you had a swarm of drones circling you at all times, scanning to see if any danger was approaching? Well, it turns out you do, and they're called birds. Yes, birds are everywhere. They're in the trees, they're flying around, and they're constantly sending out alarm calls, warning you when things are happening around you. So learn the songs and alarm calls of the 5 most prevalent year-round birds that live in your area. And look, moonshiners and special forces operatives have this in common. I've been advocating this for years. Everyone thinks I'm loopy. Do it. So I use BirdNet to record bird songs, and I'll go over here now and show you my observations. You can also use YouTube, and you can go to the Cornell Ornithology Lab website. Go anywhere you need to go. Or here's a really wacky idea. You could go outside and look at birds and listen to them. Here's the American robin. That's the American robin song. The alarm call is quite a bit different. It's more of a chirp, chirp, chirp sound. When you hear alarm calls of birds and you become familiar with them, you will immediately look around and go, what was that? What's coming? What's on the way? Who's sneaking up on me? Or what's interesting? You know, you can really spot some fun birds. You get to see owls and hawks and all kinds of things if you learn to listen for the alarm calls, because your head comes up. Now, it does something else for you, and that is that it expands your sensorium. It makes you, this is an old idea, but your senses are actually filters. If you were to experience every puff of wind, every hair that gets blown, if you were to smell every smell, see every sight, detect every movement, if you were to think every thought, every passing fancy dominated your thoughts, then you wouldn't be able to function. Your senses are filters, and they're filtering out everything that's non-essential so you can function in the world. But sometimes you get so hyper-focused that you don't notice the things around you. And if you're into self-defense, you don't want to be hyper-vigilant so that you're nervous all the time. You can't maintain it. And even if you could, you'd be utterly miserable. So interacting with your environment, learning bird calls, it will expand your sensorium without making you paranoid. It'll make you alive. It'll make you in touch with nature. And it'll be great for self-defense. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.